Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, one of history's greatest musical geniuses, was born on January 27, 1756, in Salzburg, Austria. His father, Leopold Mozart, was a prominent violinist, composer, and music teacher employed by the Archbishop of Salzburg. From the beginning, young Wolfgang was surrounded by music, a fact that played a critical role in shaping his prodigious talent. His mother, Anna Maria, provided a nurturing home, while Leopold took on the responsibility of developing his son's burgeoning gifts. Mozart's musical journey began remarkably early. By the age of 3, he showed an unusual fascination with music, imitating his sister Maria Anna, nicknamed Nannerl, as she practiced the clavier. Nannerl herself was a talented musician, and Leopold often taught both children. However, Wolfgang's abilities quickly surpassed those of his older sister, much to the astonishment of his father. Recognizing Wolfgang's potential, Leopold dedicated himself to cultivating his son's talents, a decision that would shape not only the boy's future, but also the history of Western music. By the age of 5, Mozart was already composing short pieces, which his father dutifully transcribed. His earliest known works, written in this period, display a precocious understanding of melody and harmony. These compositions were not merely the products of a gifted child dabbling in music. They demonstrated an innate grasp of musical structure far beyond his years. Leopold was quick to notice and capitalized on Wolfgang's talent, seeing it as a divine gift that needed to be shared with the world. Leopold's ambition for his son led to the first of many concert tours across Europe. At the age of 6, Wolfgang, accompanied by his father and sister, performed before European royalty, astonishing audiences with his ability to play the clavier, violin, and organ, often blindfolded to demonstrate his virtuosity. These performances were more than mere spectacles. They introduced Mozart to a wide array of musical styles and traditions, which he would later incorporate into his compositions. These formative experiences laid the groundwork for his remarkable versatility as a composer. Despite his extraordinary talent, Mozart's childhood was not without challenges. The constant traveling and performing demanded immense stamina from the young prodigy. He endured long, arduous journeys and harsh conditions, which took a toll on his health. Furthermore, the pressure to meet the expectations of royalty and audiences was immense. Yet, Mozart rarely faltered, approaching his performances with an enthusiasm and energy that belied his age. Leopold's role in Wolfgang's early development cannot be overstated. He was not only a mentor, but also a relentless promoter of his son's abilities. However, this relationship was complex. While Leopold's guidance was instrumental in Wolfgang's success, it also imposed significant limitations. The elder Mozart's strict supervision often left little room for Wolfgang to explore his own musical identity, a struggle that would later define much of his adult life. Mozart's early exposure to different musical traditions greatly influenced his compositions. During his travels, he absorbed the intricacies of Italian opera, the sophistication of French court music, and the contrapuntal mastery of German composers. These influences became the building blocks of his unique style, blending elements of various traditions into a cohesive and innovative musical language. Even in his earliest works, one can see the seeds of the genius that would later blossom fully. By the age of 10, Mozart had already composed symphonies, sonatas, and operas, achievements that many seasoned composers would struggle to match in a lifetime. His reputation as a child prodigy spread far and wide, earning him admirers among Europe's cultural elite. Yet, beneath the applause and accolades lay a child who longed for stability and a semblance of normalcy. The relentless pursuit of fame and fortune orchestrated by Leopold left little room for Wolfgang to enjoy the simple pleasures of childhood. Despite the challenges of his itinerant lifestyle, Mozart's early years were crucial in shaping his artistic identity. The exposure to different musical cultures, the discipline instilled by his father, and the constant performance opportunities honed his technical skills and creative instincts. These experiences not only established him as a musical prodigy, but also prepared him for the challenges and triumphs of his later career. In summary, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's early life was a testament to extraordinary talent nurtured under exceptional circumstances. His father's tutelage and tireless promotion, combined with his own innate gifts, laid the foundation for a career that would forever change the landscape of classical music. This chapter of Mozart's life reveals the origins of his genius, providing a glimpse into the formative years of a composer whose works continue to inspire and captivate audiences worldwide. By the age of 6, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart had already achieved a level of musicianship that astonished audiences and musicians alike. His father, Leopold Mozart, recognized this extraordinary talent and devised a plan to showcase his son's gifts across Europe. What followed was an ambitious series of tours that not only introduced Mozart to the cultural centers of Europe, but also shaped the foundation of his musical development. These travels were as much about exposure as they were about financial gain, providing the young prodigy with experiences that would profoundly influence his compositions. The first major tour began in 1762, when Leopold took Wolfgang and his sister Nannerl to Munich and Vienna to perform before the Bavarian Elector and Austrian Empress Maria Theresa. The siblings dazzled these royal audiences with their precocious abilities. Wolfgang's performances were marked by his command of the clavier and violin, his remarkable improvisational skills, and his ability to play blindfolded or with the keyboard covered by a cloth. These demonstrations left audiences in awe as they witnessed a child displaying musical maturity far beyond his years. Building on these early successes, Leopold planned more extensive tours. Between 1763 and 1766, the family embarked on a grand tour through Western Europe, visiting major cities such as Paris, London, and Amsterdam. These tours were grueling, with the family enduring long journeys, harsh weather, and often primitive accommodations. However, the exposure Wolfgang gained to diverse musical traditions during this time was invaluable. In Paris, he encountered the elegance of French music. In London, he met Johann Christian Bach, whose gallant style profoundly influenced Mozart's early compositions. One of the most significant stops on this journey was London, where Wolfgang spent over a year. During this period, he performed for King George III and Queen Charlotte and established connections with some of the era's most prominent musicians. It was here that Mozart composed his first symphonies, displaying a command of orchestration that belied his age. His interactions with Johann Christian Bach were particularly impactful, as the older composer became a mentor and inspiration to the young prodigy. The blending of melodic grace and formal clarity in Bach's works left a lasting imprint on Mozart's style. Despite his tender age, Mozart was not merely a performer during these tours. He was also a composer of remarkable productivity. At just 8 years old, he completed his first opera, La Fine Semplice, which showcased his ability to integrate dramatic and musical elements with surprising sophistication. The fact that such a young child could compose operatic works demonstrated not only Mozart's innate talent, but also the rigorous training he had received under Leopold's guidance. The tours also exposed Wolfgang to the societal expectations and pressures of being a musical prodigy. As he performed before nobility and commoners alike, he was often treated as a curiosity, a miracle of nature. While these experiences brought fame and admiration, they also subjected him to the physical and emotional toll of constant travel and public scrutiny. Wolfgang's health frequently suffered under the strain, as the rigorous schedule allowed little time for rest or recovery. Leopold's ambitions for his son were not purely self-serving, but were deeply tied to his belief in Wolfgang's divine gift. He saw these tours as a way to fulfill what he perceived as a higher purpose, to share his son's genius with the world. However, this relentless drive sometimes overshadowed Wolfgang's personal needs and desires. The young Mozart had little opportunity to form friendships or engage in typical childhood activities, as his life was consumed by music and performance. These early tours were also a lesson in adaptability for the young composer. Wolfgang's exposure to various musical traditions enriched his understanding of different styles and genres. The ability to absorb and synthesize these influences would become one of Mozart's defining characteristics as a composer. He could seamlessly integrate the dramatic intensity of Italian opera, the formal elegance of the French court, and the intricate counterpoint of German traditions into his works. Despite the many challenges, these tours solidified Mozart's reputation as a prodigy and laid the groundwork for his future as a composer of unparalleled breadth and versatility. They also provided him with a wealth of experiences that would inform his music throughout his career. Whether performing before kings and queens or composing in the cramped quarters of a coach, Mozart's early life on tour was a crucible in which his talent was forged and refined. In conclusion, the tours of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's childhood were a pivotal chapter in his life. They exposed him to a wide array of musical traditions, established his reputation as a prodigy, and prepared him for the challenges of a life devoted to music. Although the demands of constant travel and performance were immense, they shaped the young Mozart into a composer whose works would transcend time and place, leaving an indelible mark on the world of classical music. In 1781, at the age of 25, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart made a pivotal decision that would define the next chapter of his life and career. He left the employment of the Salzburg Archbishop Hieronymus Colloredo to settle in Vienna. This decision marked Mozart's break from the constraints of court service and his bold move toward establishing himself as a freelance composer and musician. Vienna, then the cultural and musical capital of Europe, offered Mozart a stage to showcase his genius, but it also presented significant challenges as he sought to build a career on his own terms. Mozart's decision to leave the archbishop's service was not without conflict. He had grown increasingly frustrated with the limitations placed upon him by the rigid hierarchy of court life in Salzburg. His relationship with Archbishop Colloredo had deteriorated over time, culminating in a heated confrontation that led to Mozart's dismissal. While this break from traditional patronage freed Mozart to pursue his ambitions, it also meant he had to navigate the uncertainty of life without a stable income, a rare and risky choice for a composer in the late 18th century. Vienna in the 1780s was a bustling hub of culture and intellect, and it provided Mozart with a wealth of opportunities to thrive. The city was home to an elite audience that valued music as both entertainment and an expression of artistic excellence. Here, Mozart's talents found a receptive audience among the aristocracy and emerging bourgeoisie, who were eager to commission new works and attend performances. Mozart quickly gained recognition for his skill as both a composer and a performer, particularly through his piano concertos, which he often premiered himself. During this period, Mozart's piano concertos became a cornerstone of his artistic output. Works such as the Piano Concerto No. 20 in D minor and the Piano Concerto No. 21 in C major demonstrated his ability to blend virtuosic performance with intricate orchestration, appealing to both connoisseurs and casual listeners. These compositions not only solidified his reputation as one of Vienna's premier musicians, but also served as a means of financial support, as he often organized and performed in subscription concerts. Mozart's operatic works also flourished during his time in Vienna, revolutionizing the genre with their emotional depth and dramatic complexity. One of his earliest triumphs in this genre was the Abduction from the Seraglio, 1782, a singspiel that showcased his mastery of combining music with humor and drama. The opera was an immediate success and helped establish Mozart as a leading figure in the Viennese musical scene. This success paved the way for later masterpieces, such as The Marriage of Figaro and Don Giovanni, which would redefine opera in the years to come. Amidst these professional achievements, Mozart's personal life also underwent significant changes. Shortly after settling in Vienna, he married Constanze Weber in 1782, despite opposition from his father, Leopold. Constanze became a central figure in Mozart's life, offering him companionship and support in the face of his often precarious financial situation. Their marriage, though not without its difficulties, was characterized by mutual affection and shared dedication to Mozart's career. Financial instability, however, was a constant struggle for Mozart during his Viennese years. Although he earned significant sums from performances, commissions, and teaching, his lavish lifestyle often outpaced his income. Vienna's competitive musical environment also presented challenges, as Mozart had to vie for patronage and recognition against other talented composers and performers. These financial pressures weighed heavily on him, especially as his family grew with the birth of several children, only 2 of whom survived infancy. Despite these hardships, Mozart's time in Vienna was marked by an unparalleled period of creativity and innovation. His compositions during this era reflect a maturity and refinement that elevated his music to new heights. Works such as the Symphony No. 41 in C major, the Jupiter Symphony, and the String Quintet in G minor reveal his ability to balance structural complexity with emotional expression, setting new standards for classical composition. Mozart's experiences in Vienna also highlight the tension between artistic freedom and financial stability. His decision to forego the security of a court position in favor of independence allowed him to explore his creative potential fully. However, it also exposed him to the risks of an unpredictable income and the volatility of public tastes. This precarious balance defined much of Mozart's career, underscoring the challenges faced by artists striving to maintain their integrity while navigating the demands of a commercialized artistic world. In conclusion, Mozart's move to Vienna marked a significant turning point in his life, characterized by both remarkable artistic achievements and ongoing struggles for financial and personal stability. In the vibrant cultural milieu of Vienna, Mozart flourished as a composer, producing works that would define his legacy and transform the landscape of Western music. Yet his pursuit of independence came with a cost, reflecting the complexities of balancing creativity, ambition, and survival in a rapidly changing world. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's contribution to opera is one of the most celebrated aspects of his musical legacy. His works transformed the genre, elevating it from mere entertainment to a profound art form capable of expressing the full range of human emotion. Through his innovative approach to character development, dramatic structure, and musical expression, Mozart redefined what opera could achieve. His masterpieces, such as The Marriage of Figaro, Don Giovanni, and The Magic Flute, remain cornerstones of the operatic repertoire and continue to captivate audiences worldwide. Opera in Mozart's time was largely divided into 2 categories: opera seria, serious opera, and opera buffa, comic opera. While opera seria focused on lofty themes from classical mythology and history, opera buffa centered on more accessible, everyday stories with elements of humor and satire. Mozart, however, blurred these distinctions, infusing his works with both the emotional depth of opera seria and the wit and relatability of opera buffa. This synthesis allowed him to create operas that were both entertaining and profoundly moving, appealing to audiences across social classes. One of Mozart's earliest successes in opera was The Abduction from the Seraglio, 1782, a Singspiel, or German comic opera with spoken dialogue. This work showcased his ability to merge dramatic storytelling with virtuosic vocal writing. Although ostensibly a lighthearted tale, the opera also explored themes of love, loyalty, and cultural conflict, reflecting the Enlightenment ideals of tolerance and understanding. The success of The Abduction established Mozart as a leading operatic composer in Vienna and set the stage for his later masterpieces. The Marriage of Figaro, 1786, composed in collaboration with librettist Lorenzo da Ponte, marked a turning point in Mozart's career and in the history of opera. Based on a play by Pierre Beaumarchais, the opera tackled themes of class conflict, love, and human folly with a sharp wit and deep humanity. Mozart's music brought the characters to life in unprecedented ways, using orchestration and melody to express their inner emotions and relationships. For example, the duet Solaria and the aria Non più andrei exemplify Mozart's ability to blend humor, tenderness, and dramatic intensity seamlessly. The success of The Marriage of Figaro led to further collaboration with da Ponte, resulting in Don Giovanni, 1787. Often described as a dramma giocoso, a mix of serious and comic elements, Don Giovanni is one of Mozart's most complex and ambitious works. The opera tells the story of the legendary seducer Don Juan, balancing dark themes of betrayal and revenge with moments of levity and irony. Mozart's score captures this duality, employing bold harmonic contrasts and innovative orchestration to heighten the drama. The overture, with its ominous opening chords, sets the tone for a tale that is both morally profound and theatrically compelling. Mozart's final collaboration with Da Ponte, Così fan tutte, 1790, further demonstrated his mastery of character and musical dialogue. This opera, often misinterpreted as a simple comedy, delves into themes of love, fidelity, and human fallibility. Mozart's music transforms what might have been a trivial plot into a deeply nuanced exploration of relationships, highlighting the complexity of human emotions and the contradictions inherent in love. In 1791, near the end of his life, Mozart composed the Magic Flute, a singspiel that combined elements of fantasy, morality, and Masonic symbolism. Unlike his collaborations with Da Ponte, the Magic Flute was written in German and aimed at a broader audience. The opera's accessible format and universal themes contributed to its immense popularity, but its musical sophistication and philosophical underpinnings ensured its place as a timeless masterpiece. The aria Queen of the Night and the duet Papa Papagino exemplify Mozart's ability to balance technical brilliance with emotional resonance. Mozart's approach to opera was revolutionary in its integration of music and drama. He treated the orchestra not merely as an accompaniment to the singers, but as an active participant in the storytelling. Through the use of leitmotifs, harmonic shifts, and intricate counterpoint, Mozart created a dynamic relationship between the music and the narrative. His ability to express character psychology through music was unparalleled, allowing audiences to connect with the emotions and motivations of his characters on a deeply personal level. Another hallmark of Mozart's operas was their universality. While rooted in the conventions of 18th-century opera, his works transcended their time and place, addressing themes that remain relevant today. The class struggles in The Marriage of Figaro, the moral dilemmas in Don Giovanni, and the quest for enlightenment in The Magic Flute all resonate with contemporary audiences, ensuring the enduring appeal of Mozart's operatic legacy. In conclusion, Mozart's operas represent a monumental achievement in the history of music. His ability to blend humor and pathos, simplicity and complexity, and entertainment and profundity revolutionized the genre and set new standards for operatic composition. Through his works, Mozart gave voice to the universal human experience, creating operas that continue to inspire and move audiences centuries after their creation. His operatic genius not only shaped the music of his own time, but also laid the foundation for the dramatic innovations of future composers, ensuring his place as one of the greatest opera composers of all time. While Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is celebrated for his operas, his contributions to instrumental music, particularly in the realms of chamber music and symphonies, are equally transformative. These works showcase Mozart's ability to synthesize elegance, innovation, and emotional depth, elevating instrumental genres to new artistic heights. His chamber music and symphonies not only epitomize the classical style, but also reveal his unparalleled genius in crafting music that speaks directly to the human spirit. Mozart's chamber music stands as a testament to his ability to explore intimate musical dialogues. Among his most celebrated works in this genre are his string quartets, which he composed throughout his career. Inspired by the quartets of Joseph Haydn, whom Mozart deeply admired, his 6 Haydn quartets, 1782 to 1785, represent a pinnacle of the form. These quartets are remarkable for their intricate interplay between the instruments, with each voice contributing equally to the musical conversation. The string quartet in C major, K 465, dissonance, in particular, showcases Mozart's daring harmonic experimentation, with its unusual and tension-filled opening capturing listeners' attention before resolving into radiant clarity. In addition to string quartets, Mozart made significant contributions to other chamber music forms, including quintets, sonatas, and trios. The clarinet quintet in A major, K 581, composed in 1789, is a masterpiece of lyricism and tonal beauty, written for his friend, the clarinet virtuoso Anton Stadler. This work highlights Mozart's affinity for the clarinet, an instrument whose expressive capabilities he expanded through his compositions. Similarly, his piano sonatas and violin sonatas demonstrate his ability to balance virtuosic brilliance with melodic grace, exemplified in works like the Violin Sonata in A major, K. 526. Mozart's symphonies, too, represent a major milestone in Western music, with each composition pushing the boundaries of form, orchestration, and expression. He composed over 50 symphonies during his short life, with the later ones standing as some of the greatest achievements of the classical era. The final trilogy, Symphony No. 39 in E-flat major, Symphony No. 40 in G minor, and Symphony No. 41 in C major, Jupiter, written in 1788, exemplifies his mastery of the genre. These works reveal a depth of emotion, technical brilliance, and structural innovation that set a new standard for symphonic writing. The Symphony No. 40 in G minor is particularly notable for its emotional intensity and dramatic tension, qualities that were rare in symphonic music of the time. From its urgent opening theme to its stormy development sections, the symphony conveys a sense of restless energy and melancholy. In contrast, the Symphony No. 41 in C major is a triumphant and celebratory work, culminating in a breathtaking finale that combines fugal counterpoint with classical clarity, a testament to Mozart's ability to merge Baroque complexity with the elegance of his era. Mozart's concertos further highlight his genius in blending solo virtuosity with orchestral interplay. His piano concertos, in particular, are among the most celebrated in the repertoire, serving as vehicles for his own performances in Vienna. Works such as the Piano Concerto No. 21 in C major, K. 467, and the Piano Concerto No. 23 in A major, K. 488, illustrate his gift for crafting melodies of sublime beauty while exploring complex emotional landscapes. These concertos elevated the genre, turning it into a dialogue between soloist and orchestra rather than a mere showcase for technical skill. In addition to his instrumental compositions, Mozart demonstrated a profound understanding of the emotional and technical possibilities of orchestration. His ability to exploit the unique timbres of different instruments brought a new level of color and texture to his music. For example, the Sinfonia Concertant in E-flat major, K. 364 for violin and viola, showcases his mastery of blending contrasting instrumental voices into a harmonious whole. Similarly, his wind serenades and divertimenti, such as the Serenade No. 10 in B-flat major, K. 361, Grand Partita, display a remarkable sense of balance and charm. Mozart's innovations in instrumental music were not merely technical, but also deeply expressive. He imbued his compositions with a range of emotions, from joy and exuberance to introspection and sorrow. This emotional depth allowed his music to resonate with listeners on a profoundly human level. His ability to communicate universal truths through instrumental forms ensured that his works would endure long after his time. Moreover, Mozart's instrumental music reflects his understanding of structure and proportion, hallmarks of the classical style. He adhered to formal conventions such as sonata form. Yet within these frameworks, he found endless possibilities for invention and surprise. His mastery of counterpoint, inherited from Baroque traditions, was seamlessly integrated into his classical idiom, giving his works both intellectual rigor and immediate appeal. In conclusion, Mozart's contributions to chamber music and symphonies represent an essential part of his legacy. His works in these genres not only embody the ideals of the classical era, but also transcend their time, offering insights into the human condition that remain as relevant today as they were in his lifetime. Through his unparalleled skill, creativity, and emotional depth, Mozart transformed instrumental music into a profound art form, leaving a body of work that continues to inspire and move audiences around the world. The final years of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's life were a period of extraordinary creativity, but also immense hardship. From 1788 to his death in 1791, Mozart composed some of his greatest works, including operas, symphonies, and his unfinished Requiem. Yet, these years were marked by financial struggles, declining health, and a sense of isolation. The juxtaposition of personal adversity and artistic triumph highlights the complexity of Mozart's final chapter, underscoring both his humanity and his genius. By 1788, Mozart's financial situation had become dire. Despite his successes as a composer and performer, his income failed to keep pace with his expenses, driven by his family's growing needs and his own lavish lifestyle. The Viennese musical scene had also become increasingly competitive, with public taste shifting away from Mozart's sophisticated compositions toward lighter, more accessible fare. These challenges forced Mozart to seek financial assistance from friends and patrons, including loans from fellow Freemasons and a notable request for help from Michael Puchberg, a wealthy merchant. Amid these difficulties, Mozart continued to produce music of unparalleled depth and innovation. In 1789, he embarked on a tour to Germany, hoping to secure commissions and performances that might alleviate his financial woes. During this trip, he visited Leipzig, where he performed at St. Thomas Church, home of Johann Sebastian Bach. This encounter with Bach's legacy deeply inspired Mozart, reinforcing his love of counterpoint and influencing works such as the String Quintet in D major, K. 593. One of Mozart's most remarkable achievements during this period was the completion of the Magic Flute, 1791, a singspiel that combined elements of fairy tale, comedy, and profound symbolism. Written in collaboration with librettist Emanuel Schikaneder, the opera was a celebration of Enlightenment ideals, including the triumph of reason and the pursuit of wisdom. Premiered shortly before Mozart's death, the Magic Flute was an immediate success and remains one of the most beloved works in the operatic repertoire. Its balance of accessible melodies, intricate ensembles, and philosophical themes exemplifies Mozart's ability to connect with audiences on multiple levels. Another notable work from this time is the Clarinet Concerto in A major, K. 622, completed in October 1791. Written for his friend Anton Stadler, the concerto highlights Mozart's affinity for the clarinet, using its warm and lyrical qualities to convey both joy and melancholy. The concerto's adagio movement, in particular, stands as one of the most poignant expressions of Mozart's late style, reflecting a sense of introspection and emotional depth. Amidst these achievements, Mozart began work on what would become his final and most enigmatic composition, the Requiem Mass in D minor, K. 626. Commissioned anonymously by Count Franz von Walsegg, who intended to pass the work off as his own, the Requiem became the subject of much myth and speculation. Popular legend suggests that Mozart believed he was composing the Mass for his own funeral, though historical evidence indicates that he approached the task with his characteristic professionalism and dedication. Mozart's health began to decline rapidly in the autumn of 1791, exacerbated by overwork, financial stress, and possible medical conditions that remained the subject of debate among scholars. Despite his worsening condition, he continued to compose, dictating parts of the Requiem to his student Franz Xaver Sussmayr from his deathbed. On December 5, 1791, Mozart passed away at the age of 35, leaving the Requiem unfinished. Sussmayr completed the work based on Mozart's sketches and instructions, allowing it to become one of the most celebrated pieces of choral music in history. The Requiem reflects Mozart's profound understanding of human mortality and spirituality. Its opening introitus conveys a sense of solemn grandeur, while the Dies Irae captures the terror of divine judgment with its dramatic orchestration and choral intensity. The work's emotional range, from the tender Lacrimosa to the triumphant Sanctus, demonstrates Mozart's unparalleled ability to convey the full spectrum of human emotion through music. Mozart's death left a void in the musical world, cutting short a career that had already transformed Western music. While his passing was met with initial shock and sorrow, the full scope of his genius became more widely recognized in the decades that followed. His works, particularly those from his final years, continued to inspire composers such as Ludwig van Beethoven, Franz Schubert, and Johannes Brahms, ensuring his enduring influence on the Romantic era and beyond. In examining Mozart's final years, one is struck by the contrast between his external struggles and his internal brilliance. Despite facing financial difficulties, declining health, and an uncertain future, he maintained an unwavering commitment to his art. His ability to create music of profound beauty and innovation during this time speaks to his resilience and the depth of his creative spirit. In conclusion, the final years of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's life represent a paradoxical period of struggle and triumph. His compositions during this time, including the Magic Flute and the unfinished Requiem, stand as testaments to his artistic vision and enduring legacy. Though his life was tragically short, Mozart's final chapter reveals a composer at the height of his powers, leaving behind a body of work that continues to resonate with audiences and affirm his place as one of the greatest geniuses in the history of music. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's influence on the world of music is unparalleled, extending far beyond his brief lifetime. His works have become a cornerstone of Western classical music, inspiring countless musicians, composers, and scholars. Mozart's legacy is not confined to the sheer brilliance of his compositions. It encompasses the ways in which his music has shaped artistic thought, transcended cultural boundaries, and resonated deeply with audiences of all generations. To understand the magnitude of Mozart's legacy is to explore the enduring relevance of his contributions to music, culture, and human expression. Mozart's impact on the development of Western music can hardly be overstated. His mastery of diverse musical forms, from symphonies and operas to chamber music and concertos, set new standards for composition. He perfected the classical style, balancing elegance and structure with emotional depth and creative innovation. Through his works, Mozart demonstrated that music could be both intellectually rigorous and emotionally accessible, bridging the gap between technical brilliance and human connection. This synthesis laid the groundwork for the Romantic era, influencing composers such as Ludwig van Beethoven, Franz Schubert, and Johannes Brahms. Beethoven, in particular, regarded Mozart as a guiding force. As a young man, Beethoven traveled to Vienna with the hope of studying under Mozart, though their meeting, if it occurred, was brief. Nevertheless, Mozart's influence is evident in Beethoven's early works, particularly in his symphonies and piano concertos. Over time, Beethoven expanded upon the forms and structures that Mozart had perfected, infusing them with the dramatic intensity and personal expression that would define Romantic music. In this way, Mozart served as both a mentor and a benchmark for the next generation of composers. Beyond his technical innovations, Mozart's music possesses a timeless quality that continues to captivate audiences. His compositions are celebrated for their ability to convey the full range of human emotions, from joy and love to despair and longing. This universality allows Mozart's music to transcend cultural and historical boundaries, resonating with listeners from diverse backgrounds. Pieces like the Requiem, Ein klein Nachtmusik, and the Piano Concerto No. 21 remain instantly recognizable, their melodies woven into the fabric of global culture. Mozart's operas, in particular, have played a pivotal role in shaping the modern understanding of drama and storytelling in music. Works such as The Marriage of Figaro, Don Giovanni, and The Magic Flute are not only musical masterpieces, but also profound explorations of human relationships, morality, and social structures. By combining rich character development with sophisticated musical interplay, Mozart elevated opera to a new level of artistic expression. His influence can be seen in the works of later opera composers, including Richard Wagner and Giuseppe Verdi, who build upon his innovations in dramatic pacing and emotional depth. In addition to his musical achievements, Mozart's life and personality have become the subject of fascination and myth. His status as a prodigy, his struggles for artistic independence, and his untimely death have all contributed to his enduring mystique. Works like Peter Shaffer's play Amadeus and its film adaptation have further cemented Mozart's place in popular culture, portraying him as both a flawed human being and a transcendent genius. While these depictions are often dramatized, they reflect the profound impact Mozart has had on the collective imagination. Mozart's music has also found a place in fields beyond the arts. Studies in psychology and neuroscience have explored the so-called Mozart effect, suggesting that listening to his compositions may temporarily enhance cognitive function and creativity. While the scientific validity of these claims remains debated, they underscore the enduring fascination with Mozart's music and its perceived connection to human intelligence and well-being. His compositions are frequently used in education, therapy, and even space exploration, symbolizing the universality of his artistry. The preservation and performance of Mozart's works have been a central focus of the classical music tradition. His compositions are a staple of concert halls, opera houses, and recording studios worldwide. Organizations such as the International Mozarteum Foundation in Salzburg dedicate themselves to preserving his manuscripts, promoting his music, and supporting research into his life and legacy. Annual festivals, including the Salzburg Festival, celebrate Mozart's contributions, drawing audiences from around the globe to experience his works in their original cultural and geographical context. Mozart's influence extends beyond the confines of classical music, inspiring artists and creators in a wide range of disciplines. His melodies have been adapted into popular songs, film scores, and other genres, reflecting their enduring appeal. From jazz arrangements of his themes to modern reinterpretations of his operas, Mozart's music continues to inspire innovation and creativity across artistic boundaries. This adaptability highlights the versatility of his work and its capacity to connect with new audiences in fresh and meaningful ways. In conclusion, the legacy of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is a testament to the transformative power of art. His music, characterized by its technical mastery, emotional depth, and timeless beauty, has left an indelible mark on the world. As a composer, Mozart not only defined the classical era, but also laid the foundation for the artistic movements that followed, influencing generations of musicians and thinkers. His ability to speak to the universal human experience ensures that his works remain as relevant and inspiring today as they were over 2 centuries ago. In celebrating Mozart's legacy, we honor not only his genius, but also the enduring capacity of music to enrich and elevate the human spirit. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's influence on the history of Western music extends far beyond his lifetime, shaping the works of composers in the classical, romantic, and even modern eras. His genius, characterized by structural perfection, melodic inventiveness, and emotional depth, became a benchmark against which subsequent generations measured themselves. By exploring Mozart's impact on key figures in music history, one gains insight into how his legacy has permeated diverse styles and approaches, ensuring his continued relevance in the evolution of music. One of the earliest and most direct beneficiaries of Mozart's influence was Ludwig van Beethoven. While Beethoven is often regarded as the archetype of the Romantic composer, his early works are steeped in the classical traditions that Mozart refined. Beethoven admired Mozart immensely, and some of his compositions, such as the Piano Concerto No. 1 in C major and the String Quartet No. 1 in F major, reflect Mozart's influence in their clarity of form and thematic development. Beethoven's ability to take the elegance of Mozart's style and expand it into new emotional and structural realms is a testament to how Mozart's innovations became a springboard for the Romantic movement. Franz Schubert, another giant of the early Romantic era, was also deeply inspired by Mozart. Schubert's lyrical gift for melody, often considered his defining trait, owes much to Mozart's melodic elegance. Schubert's symphonies, particularly the Symphony No. 5 in B-flat major, bear striking similarities to Mozart's symphonic works in their lightness, charm, and graceful phrasing. Yet Schubert infused these classical elements with his unique emotional sensitivity, demonstrating how Mozart's legacy could be adapted to express the emerging Romantic ethos. The operatic world also felt the lasting impact of Mozart's innovations. Giuseppe Verdi, one of the leading opera composers of the 19th century, acknowledged Mozart's influence on his approach to dramatic structure and characterization. Verdi admired the way Mozart used music to reveal the inner lives of his characters, particularly in operas like Don Giovanni and The Marriage of Figaro. This influence is evident in Verdi's ability to balance dramatic intensity with moments of lyrical beauty, as seen in works such as La Traviata and Rigoletto. Mozart's seamless integration of music and drama set a standard that Verdi and other opera composers sought to emulate. Richard Wagner, though radically different in style from Mozart, also drew inspiration from the earlier composer's operatic achievements. Wagner praised Mozart's Don Giovanni as the greatest opera ever written, citing its perfect synthesis of music and drama. While Wagner's monumental music dramas departed significantly from the classical style, his concept of leitmotifs, musical themes associated with characters or ideas, echoes Mozart's nuanced use of musical motifs to enhance storytelling. In this way, Mozart's operatic legacy extended even to the highly innovative and dramatic world of 19th-century German opera. Mozart's influence was not limited to Romantic composers. It also played a role in shaping the works of 20th-century musicians. Igor Stravinsky, one of the most influential modernist composers, admired Mozart for his clarity and economy of expression. Stravinsky's neoclassical works, such as Pulcinella, reflect his attempt to channel the elegance and precision of Mozart's style within a modern context. Similarly, composers like Benjamin Britten drew upon Mozart's operatic and choral techniques to create music that balances traditional forms with contemporary sensibilities. In addition to his impact on individual composers, Mozart's works played a key role in shaping broader trends in music education and performance. The study of Mozart's compositions has become a cornerstone of classical training, with aspiring musicians using his piano sonatas, symphonies, and concertos to develop their technique and interpretive skills. Mozart's music is also a staple of orchestral and chamber music programs worldwide, serving as a foundation for understanding the principles of classical form and balance. Moreover, Mozart's influence extends to popular music and culture, where his melodies have been adapted and reinterpreted in countless ways. From jazz arrangements of his themes to cinematic scores that draw inspiration from his compositions, Mozart's music continues to inspire creativity across genres. His ability to transcend the boundaries of classical tradition and resonate with contemporary audiences speaks to the universality of his artistry. Mozart's legacy also serves as a reminder of the timeless qualities that great music embodies. His works exemplify the perfect marriage of form and content, where technical mastery enhances emotional expression. This balance has inspired composers to strive for a similar synthesis in their own music, ensuring that Mozart's influence remains a guiding light for artistic innovation. In conclusion, the influence of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart on later composers is a testament to the enduring power of his music. From the Romantic era to the modern age, his innovations in form, melody, and dramatic expression have shaped the course of Western music, leaving an indelible mark on generations of artists. By building upon Mozart's legacy, composers have not only honored his genius, but also ensured that his contributions continue to inspire and enrich the world of music. His works, timeless in their appeal, remain a source of wonder and inspiration, affirming his place as one of history's greatest musical pioneers. Mozart's music has undergone numerous reinterpretations throughout history, as performers and scholars have sought to understand, express, and even reshape his works for new generations. While his compositions are often regarded as the epitome of the classical style, their adaptability and emotional depth have allowed for a wide range of interpretations, ensuring that his music remains relevant and inspiring across centuries. The various ways in which Mozart's music has been reimagined, through performance practices, modern arrangements, and scholarly analysis, demonstrate the enduring vitality and flexibility of his art. One of the most significant shifts in the performance of Mozart's music occurred in the early 19th century, as classical-era instruments gave way to the larger, more powerful instruments of the Romantic period. In the decades following Mozart's death, performers often played his music on the new, more expansive instruments that had evolved in the intervening years. This transformation altered the sound of Mozart's works, particularly his orchestral compositions, which were originally conceived for smaller ensembles. The larger Romantic orchestra, with its expanded brass and string sections, inevitably changed the texture and tone of Mozart's music, giving it a more dramatic and sweeping quality than originally intended. The 20th century, however, witnessed a revival of historically informed performance practices, which sought to return Mozart's music to its original sound world. Early music ensembles and period instrument orchestras, such as those led by conductor Nicolaus Harnoncourt and harpsichordist Christopher Hogwood, played a crucial role in this movement. These musicians used instruments from the 18th century or replicas of such instruments, playing at the pitch and with the articulation that would have been typical in Mozart's time. The goal was not simply to replicate the past, but to rediscover the nuances of Mozart's music in a way that was authentic to the sound of his era, providing a fresh and often startling perspective on his works. Another important development in the reinterpretation of Mozart's music was the rise of the historically informed conductor. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, conductors such as Wilhelm Furtwängler and Herbert von Karajan exerted significant influence over performances of Mozart's works, often imbuing them with the grandeur and emotion typical of the Romantic approach. However, with the emergence of the early music movement, conductors like Sir Roger Norrington and John Eliot Gardiner began to adopt a more restrained and transparent approach to Mozart's scores, focusing on clarity, precision, and a lighter, more graceful style. These conductors sought to honor the balance and elegance that Mozart himself might have envisioned, rather than imposing the grandeur of later interpretative traditions onto his music. In the realm of operatic performance, the reinterpretation of Mozart's works has been especially vibrant. Mozart's operas, with their complex characters and rich psychological depth, lend themselves to a variety of interpretations. Directors and conductors have continually reimagined Mozart's operas for contemporary audiences, adapting their staging, costumes, and even the setting to reflect modern sensibilities. Productions of The Magic Flute, for example, have ranged from traditional interpretations rooted in the Enlightenment symbolism of the original work to avant-garde presentations that incorporate modern themes and technology. These reinterpretations serve to highlight the timelessness of Mozart's themes, such as the conflict between reason and emotion, the triumph of virtue, and the exploration of the human condition. Beyond traditional interpretations, Mozart's music has also been adapted into a wide variety of genres and contexts. In the world of popular music, his themes have been reworked into jazz arrangements, pop songs, and even film scores. Jazz musicians, including those in the 1960s and 1970s, often explored Mozart's themes as the basis for improvisation, infusing his music with syncopation and swing rhythms. One of the most famous examples is the Mozart effect, a popular idea suggesting that listening to Mozart's music can enhance cognitive function. While the scientific validity of this theory is debated, it highlights how Mozart's music continues to permeate public consciousness and influence fields beyond classical music. In the world of film, Mozart's works have played a crucial role in conveying emotional depth and dramatic intensity. Movies like Amadeus, 1984, directed by Milos Forman, brought Mozart's music to a wider audience, sparking renewed interest in both his life and his compositions. The film, while fictionalized, captured the essence of Mozart's genius and his complex personality, showcasing his music in the context of his dramatic and often tragic life. The score of Amadeus blends Mozart's original compositions with modern film techniques, illustrating the flexibility of his music in evoking emotion and enhancing narrative. In addition to these reinterpretations in popular and modern contexts, scholars have also revisited Mozart's music in terms of its intellectual and philosophical implications. Mozart's work has been the subject of countless academic studies that seek to unlock the deeper meanings embedded in his compositions. Musicologists have examined the harmonic structures, thematic development, and use of counterpoint in Mozart's music to gain a deeper understanding of his compositional methods. Philosophers have also engaged with his music, interpreting it as a reflection of Enlightenment ideals, exploring how his operas, in particular, engage with themes of liberty, justice, and human enlightenment. Mozart's music has been used as a lens through which to view broader cultural shifts and historical contexts. For instance, his operas often challenge social norms and comment on issues of class, gender, and morality. Don Giovanni, for example, confronts the tension between social order and individual desire, while The Marriage of Figaro critiques the aristocracy's control over the lives of its servants. These works continue to resonate in contemporary discussions about power, equality, and social justice, demonstrating that Mozart's art speaks to ongoing societal concerns. Finally, the reinterpretation of Mozart's music is not confined to performance, arrangement, or analysis. It extends to the ways in which his music is experienced. With the advent of recording technology, digital platforms, and immersive sound systems, Mozart's works can now be heard in ways that were once unimaginable. High-definition recordings, concert films, and virtual reality performances offer audiences a range of sensory experiences, creating new avenues for engagement with his music. These technological advancements ensure that Mozart's legacy remains a living, evolving art form, continuously reshaped and rediscovered by each new generation. In conclusion, the reinterpretation of Mozart's music has played a crucial role in preserving and expanding his legacy. Through the exploration of historical performance practices, modern arrangements, and scholarly analysis, Mozart's works continue to evolve, finding new meanings and resonating with ever-changing audiences. Whether through early music ensembles playing on period instruments, contemporary film adaptations, or popular jazz renditions, Mozart's music remains adaptable and relevant. As long as his compositions are performed, reinterpreted, and reimagined, Mozart's genius will continue to inspire and challenge musicians, listeners, and artists across disciplines, ensuring that his place in the pantheon of great composers endures for centuries to come. In the modern world, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's music remains a pillar of classical music and a symbol of artistic excellence. His works continue to influence not only classical musicians and composers, but also a wide range of disciplines, from film and theater to psychology and even marketing. In this final chapter, we will explore the enduring significance of Mozart in contemporary culture, examining how his music remains relevant in an ever-changing world and how it continues to enrich human experiences across the globe. Mozart's music is often regarded as the epitome of classical beauty, characterized by elegance, clarity, and emotional depth. In contemporary concert halls, orchestras and chamber ensembles regularly perform his works, ensuring that they remain a central part of the Western classical repertoire. His symphonies, operas, and concertos are staples of concert programs and are frequently performed in prestigious venues such as the Vienna Philharmonic, the Royal Concertgebouw, and the Salzburg Festival, which honors his legacy. His ability to express the full spectrum of human emotion through music ensures that his compositions remain vital and relatable to modern audiences, transcending the boundaries of time and culture. Beyond the concert hall, Mozart's music also plays a significant role in film and popular culture. Movies such as Amadeus, The Shawshank Redemption, and the Peanuts movie incorporate Mozart's compositions to underscore emotional moments, convey themes of intellectual brilliance, or simply add a touch of historical grandeur. In particular, Amadeus, 1984, a dramatized portrayal of Mozart's life, brought the composer's story to global audiences, igniting a renewed interest in his music and legacy. The film introduced Mozart's genius to a new generation and helped reinforce his place in popular imagination as both a tortured artist and a transcendent musical figure. In addition to film, Mozart's music often serves as a tool for creating emotional impact in advertising and branding. Marketers frequently use his works to convey sophistication, elegance, and high-quality craftsmanship. His compositions, such as the famous Ein Klein Nacht music or the Piano Sonata No. 11 in A major, are frequently featured in commercials for luxury goods, fine wines, and high-end automobiles. This connection between Mozart and the concept of cultural refinement has helped cement his status as a symbol of artistic excellence that appeals to the aspirations of contemporary society. Moreover, Mozart's influence extends beyond the arts and entertainment industry. In recent years, research in psychology has suggested that listening to Mozart's music may have positive effects on brain function, a phenomenon often referred to as the Mozart effect. While the scientific validity of this theory is still debated, Many studies have suggested that listening to Mozart's compositions may enhance cognitive abilities, such as spatial reasoning and memory. This idea has been popularized by various studies and media outlets, contributing to the widespread belief that Mozart's music has beneficial effects on mental well-being. Whether or not the Mozart effect holds true, it is undeniable that his music has a calming and uplifting quality that many people continue to associate with intellectual stimulation and emotional clarity. Mozart's ability to transcend cultural and linguistic barriers further solidifies his importance in contemporary culture. His music is performed and appreciated around the world, from the concert halls of Europe to the opera houses of Asia, Africa, and the Americas. International festivals dedicated to his music, such as the Mozart Festival in Salzburg, attract tourists and music lovers from across the globe. The universal appeal of Mozart's compositions stems from their blend of formal rigor and emotional expressiveness, which allows listeners from various cultural backgrounds to connect with the music on a deep, personal level. His ability to communicate the essence of the human experience through music speaks to his unique gift and explains why his work continues to be revered by so many. In addition to this cross-cultural resonance, Mozart's music is also widely used in educational contexts. His compositions are frequently featured in music education programs, where students are introduced to his works as models of excellence in harmony, melody, and form. Music teachers often use Mozart's piano sonatas, string quartets, and symphonies to teach students about balance, phrasing, and interpretation. His works are not only essential for developing technical proficiency, but also for fostering a deeper appreciation of the expressive possibilities of music. This role as an educational tool ensures that Mozart's music continues to inspire young musicians and future composers, keeping his legacy alive in the next generation of artists. Moreover, Mozart's music has become an integral part of therapeutic practices, particularly in music therapy. His compositions are often used in therapeutic settings to help individuals manage stress, improve emotional well-being, and promote relaxation. Research has shown that music, especially the harmonious and structured music of composers like Mozart, can have a soothing effect on the nervous system, helping to alleviate anxiety and improve mood. As a result, Mozart's music is often included in therapeutic playlists for individuals dealing with emotional or psychological challenges. This aspect of his legacy underscores the therapeutic power of art and the continued relevance of his compositions in contemporary society. In the realm of digital media, Mozart's music has found new life through streaming services, digital downloads, and YouTube. In the age of digital technology, access to Mozart's vast catalog is easier than ever before. Music lovers, students, and casual listeners can now explore his works at the click of a button, enabling his compositions to reach audiences far and wide. The digitalization of Mozart's music has allowed for an unprecedented democratization of access, ensuring that his work continues to reach new listeners, particularly those who may not have access to traditional performance settings or academic institutions. Mozart's cultural significance is also reflected in the continued exploration of his life and legacy in academic research. Scholars continue to study his compositions, life, and influence through musicological, historical, and philosophical lenses. Books, articles, and conferences dedicated to Mozart demonstrate the ongoing scholarly interest in his work and the many layers of meaning embedded in his music. Whether exploring his technical innovations, his personal life, or his contributions to the broader cultural landscape of the 18th century, Mozart remains a rich subject for academic inquiry, keeping his legacy alive in the intellectual sphere. Finally, the enduring significance of Mozart's music lies in its emotional depth and timeless appeal. At its core, Mozart's music speaks to the shared human experience, offering a reflection of joy, sorrow, love, and longing. It is this universality that ensures his music continues to resonate with listeners of all ages and backgrounds. Whether heard in a concert hall, a therapy session, or a film soundtrack, Mozart's music remains an expression of the highest artistic ideals: beauty, clarity, and emotional truth. In conclusion, The enduring significance of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart in contemporary culture is a testament to the timelessness of his genius. His music continues to enrich the world of classical music, inspire modern artists and performers, and provide a source of emotional and intellectual nourishment for listeners across the globe. From its use in film and popular culture to its role in education and therapy, Mozart's legacy remains as vibrant and relevant today as it was in his lifetime. As long as his music is performed, studied, and celebrated, Mozart's genius will continue to shape the cultural landscape, ensuring that his contributions to humanity's artistic heritage endure for generations to come.